everybody. Hello, Dana.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you good.
How about
I hear you good. How about that? I am at home, and Dina's in Tennessee, so we're trying to make this work tonight. I'm going to try to read as many comments as I can. If Dina sees something and wants to ask the question for you, where'd you go? Dina, where'd you go? She went blank.
I don't think I can. Hold on.
You went dark.
I don't think that I can. I know I can't see the comments at all.
Why?
I don't know.
Well,
Let me go to YouTube.
I'll do the best I can. Your internet.
Hold on.
Are you using your iPhone as your internet? Supper of Champions. She'll be back in just a minute. I hope. I want to give you a little update on toddlers. The Bakersfield Sheriff's Department, Police Department did a search warrant at, here we go, let's pick a search warrants on the adopted grandparents' house. Now, let's don't read too much into that, other than the fact is they must have had some information that not the kids were there. You can't hear? They can't hear you. No. Well, hang on there a minute. I like looking at you. Huh? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. But anyway, hold on just a second before you do that, before you go anywhere. Well, there she went. She's in Tennessee, and she has very little internet up there. That's why we don't like to do streams up there. She comes back, I'll put her back on. Anyway, the police departments are not saying that they found anything, and they're not saying that don't read it. They're saying is don't read anything into the fact that they did search warrants. It was all a part of the investigation. However, I'm going to tell you, you don't just do search warrants for the fun of it. Dina can talk. She can type on it here, but she can't, for whatever reason, her internet's not strong enough to show her face. But I say that probably what it is they had information that maybe there were some documents, paperwork, or whatever supporting some criminal behavior by the adopted parents. And they've all but said that they're suspects. They said that it is not, they're not treating it as a missing child case anymore. They're treating it as a foul play is involved. So, take that for what it's worth. Man, it feels weird not having Dina here to help me out. It really does. I would appreciate it if everybody give us a thumbs up. And if you are watching this for the first time, if you would subscribe to our channel. And if you like us as people, I'd appreciate it if you go over and look and visit with us on our RV channel. That is the number 1 million mile road trip. And we are trying to get it off the ground. And we have about 450 or 60 subscribers. Let me see where y'all are at here. I wanted to show y'all something here. I am covering a couple of cases from Louisiana. One is not associated with the thumbnail. The one that is out of that parish that I can't pronounce. I'll butcher the name. Don't worry. It's just the way I am. It's hard for me to pronounce stuff like that. But this is a case that Medina brought to my attention, and I'll discuss that in just a second. But I wanted to, oh, she's back now. Hold on. See if I can, do I have your voice now?
You hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, because they said we had an echo.
Well, I don't have an echo on my end, but what I have is you're breaking up every once in a while. I don't think the internet's the greatest in the world up there.
I'm breaking up.
You're breaking up some and you're freezing some. It's because you have internet.
No, I'm breaking up because you're not here.
No, how sweet. But I do want to show the viewers what I'm dealing with down here. If I do have an echo or whatever, a few minutes ago, the blue dot is me where I'm at. The red thing, the red square is a tornado warning, and that behind it was the tornado that moved into it. And I tell you, God's protecting me because I prayed about that because I don't even have a car to leave. I just had me and the dogs and the cat. And this thing dissipated all of a sudden. It was something else. And right behind me, this is one. This is another tornado warning. The blue dot is me on the right side of this picture. Those are all tornado warnings at about 20, 25 miles to the west of me, which is that way, 25 miles.
Hey, weatherman.
Huh?
Get to the business of today, not the weather.
Well, I got to explain if I have to run out of here in the middle of a sentence or something. You know, if my phone goes off and it says, hey, dummy, get out of there. There's a tornado. Me and the dogs got to go to a closet.
Last time, you and I just stood on the porch.
Yeah, that's what we did last time. Siren going off. This is one that
happy
Dina
birthday,
brought in.
Rhonda. Happy birthday, Rhonda.
Yeah, happy birthday, Rhonda. And happy St. Patty's Day to everybody. I got a lot of Irish in me. This is a missing person we're going to discuss, and Dina brought it to my attention, but this is the problem with this case, okay? And I want to tell you about it once we get into it. She disappeared in 2008 from Livingston Parish, Louisiana, endangered female. She's would be 70 now, disappeared when she's 58. Now here, there's a big problem with this. I'll tell you in just a minute. Shorts and a tank top at 58 years old. That's the problem. I don't see, huh?
Oh
Shorts
my
and
gosh!
A tank top at 58. Come on.
I cannot believe you just said that.
Why? 58 is a little too old to wear shorts and a tank top.
I wear shorts and a tank top, and I'm older than that.
I've never seen you wear shorts and a tank top.
Oh my God!
Anywhere near that age.
You did it yesterday and today.
I wore a short and a shirt, but I would wear it out in public.
No. You stepped in it last night, and you're stepping in it tonight.
I'm stepping in it again. I just don't. To me, that is a little too old.
Tommy, we're not talking about when our grandmothers, the 50s is the now 40s.
Yeah, right. Barbara was last heard from on 11:30 a.m. on May the 2nd. Maggie
hears my voice.
Yeah, May the 2nd, 2008, when a neighbor spoke to her on telephone at her residence and in Livingston Parish. She was cleaning out the kitchen cabinets. She never had heard from her again. Well, when her nephew checked the house, the front door was wide open, the windows were open, and Barbara's phone was lying on the floor with a battery pulled out of it. Pots were stacked in the kitchen floor. Valuables were left out in plain view, and it didn't appear that there had been a robbery. Her silver four-door 2006 Toyota Camry was found parked in an abandoned about, doesn't say abandoned, what? What are they talking about? Parked abandoned. Why did they put an abandoned? Anyway.
Yeah. They
messed it up. They messed up. Yeah, about a quarter mile from home at 4:15 p.m. the day of her disappearance. It had been parked on a dirt logging road on the property of a hunting club. 25 or 30 yards off the main road out of sight, hidden by trees. There were water on the floor of the vehicle, possibly heavy rains that occurred in the area. The car keys were half buried into the gravel about 20 yards from the car. A witness reported seeing a woman matching Barbara's description standing outside Barbara's car that day wearing a tank top, pinstripe shorts, purple Crocs.
He got a good look at her.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. Well, you said me not to do it.
That's right.
There was a Caucasian man, a white man, standing near her. The late model white pickup truck was parked nearby. The witness was so troubled that the frightened expression on Barbara's face that he called Crime Stoppers. Why didn't he call the police? I don't understand that, you know? Why not the police? Crime Stoppers, they might not get that thing for 24 hours. A witness reported having seen a woman matching Barbara's description standing. Let's see. Yeah, that was what I read there. Let's see if I get back here. Barbara is a widow, lived alone at the time of her disappearance, was kept regular in touch with relatives, and her disappearance is out of character. Her 2 children lived at the same road as her, and she cooked dinner for them every day, as well as driving her sister to medical appointments. She also lived quite active life in her local Baptist church. I guess they're saying that people won't judge that she ran away. She describes as a cautious individual, didn't open the door for strangers, carried a gun with her when she went outside to milk the cows. Her credit cards hadn't been used since she was missing. Investigators believe that she was taken against her will. There's a theory that her disappearance is related to a June 2004 death of her husband, 55-year-old Henry, I guess that's Earl Jr. Blount Jr. He died when he got struck by a train while driving a gasoline tanker truck over the tracks. 2 railroad employees were also killed in the accident, and members of the locomotive union blamed Jr. for it and said the 2 railroad employees had been murdered. It's unclear whether the accident was tied to Barbara's disappearance almost 4 years later. I don't believe that. I don't believe that they would hold a grudge that long. I mean, you know, speaking for myself, I actually had a doctor murder my mother. In my opinion, it was as good as murder. He gave her some blood thinner and then went on vacation and didn't tell anybody what he gave her. Didn't even write it down on a piece of paper. And she bled to death in her brain. That's happened back in 1978. Have I hunted this guy down? No. You know, so I just don't see that myself. Maybe some people do that. Any comments, Dana? Any comments from the peanut gallery, Dana?
I knew you were going to say that.
Any comments from the peanut gallery?
Comments from the women. Just wait till you read some of the comments from the women who are in their 50s that listen to you saying, hello.
Hello. Okay. I apologize for offending anybody. I've had this visualization in my mind.
Your grandmother.
Maybe I'm visualizing older, lots older women.
You were visualizing your grandmother.
I might have been. I see those pictures of her on there, and I can't imagine anybody looking like that wearing that. So maybe 58.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay.
She is somebody's grandmother, and she's a beautiful grandmother.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as wearing a tank
she's
top,
a mother. Stop it.
Okay.
Stop it. She's
See how she treats me, people? See
Listen, I love you very much, but you're stepping all in it, and I'm
digging
not
a hole, deeper hole.
Slap you.
Digging deeper hole.
I can't reach over and slap you.
Okay, well, you're what, an hour and a half away, so that'd be pretty difficult. 2 hours away. 2 hours away. It'd be kind of difficult. Maggie, come here.
Thank you, Maui.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Maui.
Thank you so much.
You just paid me to slap you.
Oh, really? Thank you, Maui. I appreciate it. Really,
Oh,
really
you
do.
appreciate that slapping?
I appreciate the donation. I really do. I'm trying to read these things.
Martin said you're digging yourself a bigger hole. It's not cold up here in Tennessee.
No, it's actually hot in this house I'm in now. I should turn on the ceiling fan.
Aaron.
Okay, where was I going with this?
Wait. Somewhere you shouldn't go. Wait.
Okay.
Aaron, go to doctoryourself.com and look and see if there's about high blood pressure. I'm not sure there is, but that's a great website to for homeopathic.
Yeah, but if you don't, if you have to take something, there's tons of medicine out there that work and that are been on the market like 40 years. I take blood
her
pressure
meds are not working, Tommy.
Anyway, what?
Her meds are not working. Everything they've tried so far is.
I take Toprol. If you ever heard of that, Toprol XL. It works great for me, and it's been on the market like 40 years. Okay. Want to talk about this parish down here. Dina, I want you to tell me how you pronounce this parish. AVOYELLES. How do you pronounce it?
Okay, somebody else said on here, Sketty, you're not late.
How do you pronounce that, Dina? What?
Okay. Aaron said, Thomas, I'm 57. I wear inappropriate situations. I even wear a bikini when I'm at the beach.
Hey, no, I'm not playing nothing no more.
Okay.
I just had been at the beach and visualized people that don't need to be wearing stuff. I guess that's it. I'm not going there. How do you pronounce that parish?
Hold on a minute. Somebody put it up here for me. I gotta get to it.
Hold on a minute. I gotta turn on this fan. Y'all go ahead and talk. Oops, I dropped my computer.
AVOYELLES Parish. I don't know. Okay. Sorry, Rebel Rose. I'm no good.
It's probably something French. AVOYELLES Parish. Anyway, y'all look at that name. You'll understand.
Rebel. AVOY.
Boy.
UHLZ PHPEHRUHSH.
No. The name I need to, I can pronounce parish. I can't pronounce the other name.
What name?
That AVOYELLES. That's all I need to pronounce.
I don't even see it on there.
Well, don't talk about it then. I'll get it. Okay, first two articles about this place, Unsolved Mysteries. They think they possibly have a bad situation, and I'm sure they do. Some of these people turned up dead all around the same area or time, but in this county. You hardly have that many unsolved mysteries in one particular county. Said while most of the missing people, this article is done by Raymond Day. Most of the missing people's suspicious deaths are quickly resolved. Some remain unsolved. And what they mean is if they had a suspect, they pretty much went ahead and made an arrest. And they said there's 5 such cases. One is the body of an unidentified man found in Spring Bayou on June 2009 and is a subject in a separate article. Okay. All right. The most recent unsolved disappearance is Timothy Bucky Tarver Jr., 23, of Colon, who was last seen on Oak Haven Nursing Home. Last seen leaving Oak Haven Nursing Home in Center Point, March the 30th, 2019. He walked to the nursing home, visited his grandmother. Good kid. And there's no use putting a grandmother's name on here, or somebody said this, because half of them I can't. Melanie Crow's in there. She said Tarver's cousin and administrator for the said as Tarver's cousin for the administrator for the online site. He had walked from his mom's house from behind Center Point gas station and Dollar General where his mother works. Tarver is a white male, 6 foot tall, weighs 180 pounds, good sized boy. He was brown hair and hazel eyes. He has several tattoos, including a Beast 51 and a Mod 50 on his inside of both arms, a skull and an automatic rifle on his right calf, and 5 individual stars on both shoulders. He also last seen wearing a t-shirt and blue jeans. The APSO Chief Deputy Steve Martle said the department actively working his case, following numerous leads that have yielded no results. Anyone with information about his whereabouts is asked to call their police department. Faces Labs was who administers the missing person register, also asked that anyone has information call the assistant research professor Teresa Wilson. I'm not 100% what they're talking about. Any questions, Dina, that you see up there before I rock on with this?
No, they're just telling you how to pronounce the name of the town or the parish, as it's called in Louisiana.
Galat was that disappearance. Another unsolved missing person case is the one that has been frustrating for prosecutors because they know what happened but cannot prove their suspicions. And that's a problem with a lot of these cases, and even probably some cases that we've talked about. We know what happened, we can't prove it. There is a disappearance of Jessica Galat of Simsport, who was last seen on September the 7th, 2013. She is believed to be dead, but her body has not been found. So to me, she is still missing. 5 people have been tried for charges related to the abduction, but there's been no charges in connection with her death. So they've got people that kidnapped her, took her, abducted her, but they, for whatever reason, nobody will come forward and admit to killing her. So that's a sad situation. The district attorney said murder charges will be brought if a witness or evidence is found to support those charges. Unless and until this happens, prosecutors have to be content with a conviction secured for kidnapping, which I'm going to tell you, in Alabama, kidnapping carry 50 years. If the right DA, 50 years in jail, somebody probably something. Yes.
Hey, Thomas, you want to hear something funny?
Yeah, go ahead. It's my
something that'll really crack you up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Troy just called.
He did.
Yeah. Dad's doctor appointment.
Yeah.
Dad's doctor appointment is by phone.
So you'll be back tomorrow afternoon.
Well, he asked me to take him grocery shopping, so however long that takes.
Okay. By phone.
By phone.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Well, I'm bashing it tonight. I'm bashing it tonight. What can I better not
come home I better not come home to a dirty house.
Oh, hey, I'm not, I'm responsible for what them dogs do. Okay. I'm
sure the dogs fill the sink up.
I fed the dogs and I let them out to potty. What can I do? All right. What was I going to do? Where am I at? Oh, all right. Now, see, here's one of them names like they do up there when they talk. It's some French name. May, I can't pronounce that name. Somebody give it to me. With the X something murder. There's also been 2 unsolved murder mysteries in this parish. The most noted is December 2011 murder of Christine May. I don't know how to pronounce that, people.
Mayex.
Huh? Mayex? I don't think that's it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's it.
Mayo.
Huh?
Mayo. The
Because
AUX is silent.
they pronounce LSU Tigers, and they put that on the end of it.
Listen, somebody smart. Listen, somebody smart. It's Mayo. The AUX is silent. They're smarter than us, so it's Mayo. Christine Mayo.
Mayo. Okay.
Mayo.
Again, could you let me finish, please? And again, in the case of knowing but not proving what happened. What?
I'm fixing to go.
Why?
Because I need to tell Daddy that he doesn't have to get up in the morning at 2 o'clock to go to the doctor.
Well, he'll be up probably 2 o'clock. The only conviction in this case was of Jared Tidwell, who was found guilty of cleaning up the murder scene in an attempt to destroy evidence. 2 suspects had died. If Tidwell knows who committed the crime, he has not unburdened his conscience by sharing the knowledge with authorities. And these probably 2 people that died might have been killed. All right, now.
But almost 100% sure.
Think that is? All right.
Yep. I think you're right on the money with that one, buddy.
Okay.
What are you looking up at?
Because we got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. It's been rocking and rolling here, booming and everything. So like
really,
mortars are going off from the outside of the house.
Oh man, I wish I was there to get my camera out.
Yeah, I know you do.
We are storm chasers.
Lackney death. Another unsolved mystery is the death of Ray Paul Lackney. I don't think that's right. Of Mansoura, who went missing on July the 3rd, 2015. After a 6-month search for the man, the family member found the body along railroad tracks in Mansoura. The condition of the body made it impossible to determine the cause of death. Family members believed it was murder. Prosecutors had no suspects and no evidence to prove murder. So they probably have a suspect, but when they say no evidence to prove murder, then, you know. On September the 18th, Lisa how do you pronounce that, Dina? Lisa Rabelis was arrested and charged with being an accessory after the fact of homicide in connection with Lackney's death. She was convicted at trial on September 17th and 18th and sentenced to a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison. That is a joke. Riddle said Rabelis was convicted of knowing about the crime and withholding that information, but did not participate in the actual crime. Even though there has been conviction in the case, there has still been allegations against a suspect, and he is still considered unsolved. This is still considered unsolved until the question concerning his death is resolved. 5 years not enough, and that they were. See, the thing is, if they would have been holding something over her head like 30 years, she probably would have came through with what she knew,
hey,
even
Thomas.
if she was alive. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I'm going to go back in there with Dad. Okay? It's kind of rude. Okay, so I'm going to go back in there with Dad. I'll see everybody on Friday. Pray the high blood pressure, okay? And I love you, and I love all of y'all. Bye.
Love you too. Be careful. All righty. What? Okay, wait a minute. She keeps saying I can't take her off the screen for some reason. That was weird. She get back and forth, back and forth. Does anybody have any comments about this? I would like to know what y'all think about these things. What about these disappearances and the fact that they cannot prove anything? To me, that's, I understand, but if they got a suspect, you put enough pressure on the people around him, people you think's involved, then maybe something will come out of it. I don't know. I've got the radar. You can't see it. Isn't that weird? Because the radar is green here, and this green screen's hiding it, so you can't see what it is. Okay. I really have just finished up sooner than I had planned on. Yeah, you're right. Somebody's bound to, and if a lot of, some of these people have actually, I'm sure, know about it, and they're probably being threatened, but there is no statute of limitation on murder or rape. And I think there is on kidnapping, but I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look that up. And also now, most child sex abuse cases, there's no statute on that, but that is a lot harder to prove if it goes like 20 years out or something. Norma, I hate that going through that. Give me the name of your med again. The med that I'm taking is Top Roll, and that is not the actual med. That is one of the names. There's like two names they call it, but it's TOPROL XL, and what they are extended relief, or not XL, XR, extended relief. It keeps the blood pressure down all day long. Now, my blood pressure is what they call white coat syndrome. And my doctor told me that maybe if I'm having it when I go in for a medical procedure or something, that it may probably is happening some other time. So I've been taking it for honestly, about 20 years. One of the reasons my weight if I would get all this weight off of me, I'd probably be off of it. But you might mention to your doctor and see if they want to try it. It's just a very old medicine with very limited. I have never experienced any side effects from it. None. Not that I know of anyway. I'll look at the same people. I think I find that are more upsetting than dealing with it. My cat's wanting in at the door. I hear him. He wanted out earlier. I told him he didn't want to go out. I tell you what, I was with somebody recently and they took their blood pressure and it was like 160 over 125. And I was like, man, you need to go to the hospital. But evidently it runs like that. It was really weird. I know they need to get it down, but it's not like you're going to stroke out or something. Yes, please hit the like button. That really are. If you don't like us, hit the unlike button. The YouTube really enjoys. It doesn't matter if it's likes or unlikes. That tends to get the thing shared more for whatever reason. We would appreciate a like, but hey, if it's something you don't like, it's not going to break my heart if you tell me that way. Believe me. Cinnamon capsules, I've never heard of that. I know red yeast rice, they say, lowers your blood pressure, but I tried that. It didn't do anything for me. I think if you got high blood pressure and nothing's helping, medicine's on the way to go right now, until you find out what's causing it, How can they know who cleaned up the scene and not know the perp? Well, that's a good question. I don't know. Or, well, they talk like they might have known who the suspect is, but they don't have enough evidence to prove it. But if they have this person for 5 years in jail, 5 years, they're probably going to do a year and a half of good time. They know that. They know they're not going to do much time for 5 years. You really don't. 5 years, sometimes they don't even ship you down to the pen. They keep you in the local jail, local courthouse, and put you on work release or something. But I would think if they'd have threatened them with some serious jail time, they probably would have gave up the guy that actually did it. My dogs, I hear my dogs in there doing something. It bothers me when they're very quiet. Maggie, come here. Here. Yeah, I don't know. But anybody have anything else? 7 meds? Wow. Had an EKG, electrocardiogram, kidney artery scan, nothing wrong. And 7 meds tried, not working. Have you tried, and I'm not talking about down to Buddha or anything, but have you tried meditation? I actually took a meditation course, and I didn't get into all the Middle Eastern stuff. I mean, all that Eastern medicine, Eastern stuff. And I never did. I concentrated on God. I actually produced a word, a mantra that's said over and over. I say Jesus a lot. And you just basically just relax and just dwell on that. Yeah, I thought about trying to be a vegetarian. I don't know if I could do it. I don't eat meat that much anyway, but speaking of meat, I am going to eat meat tonight, though. But anyway, do y'all have any questions about anything else that you want to talk about? Because we are at 38 minutes. I'll be glad to answer what questions I can. Or, you know, if you can ask me anything, I'll be glad to answer. And it doesn't have to be about anything we talked about. Anything at all. That's pretty open, you know. If you want to know something about police work or cops or how they do or what their attitude is or what their question is, ask me. I may tell you. I'm not going to tell you, but I probably will answer it. What is the thing where you eat fish but you don't eat any other meat? What do they call that? And when does Dusty come on? Does he come on in about 20 minutes? You should try intermittent fasting. It really helps. Well, I have done intermittent fasting before. I have done that. Right now, I don't eat lunch, basically. I eat pescatarian or whatever. I don't eat lunch. Usually I eat breakfast because I cannot not eat something, because I take one pill in the morning that if I don't eat with something with it, it makes me sick. It's just the way it is. I've tried. It's not going to help it. I mean, I have got to eat like 2 eggs in the morning or something. And I'm going to tell you something. How difficult is it to solve linked murders across the country? It's pretty difficult, even if because some departments won't talk to each other. And some federal departments won't talk to local departments. Believe that is true. Some federal departments will not talk to local departments about their investigations. In fact, I would say almost all of them won't talk to your local departments. It's just the way it is because they don't know who they can trust, basically. Yeah, I'm gonna get off here in a couple of minutes because I do want you to go over and watch Dusty. They say duty's on at 7 Mountain Time. I have watched him a few times, but I mostly keep up with Dusty, though. Did you discuss Orrin and West, the search warrants? Yeah, we did. When it first came on, we said that they did do a search warrant, and they did do a search warrant, but they're not saying what they got out of the group. They did a search warrant on, and I showed a picture of the kids. They did a search warrant on the adopted parents' house, but they're not saying what they found, if anything. Do you think massage parlors should have security guards or bouncers like strip clubs? Well, these massage parlors that got, and that's sad. That's very sad. We have a special thing in our heart for all Asian people, but those girls right there were probably trafficked. I would bet $100 that they were trafficked, and because they were not getting paid, they were brought in. They probably held their Social Security cards or their, not Social Security, but their passports. I would bet that they were trafficked, and this guy that killed those people claimed he had a sex addiction, and that he had been going to these places and having sex with these women, and then he was addicted. That's what he did. He was on his way to Florida to kill more people in Florida, but he killed eight people. I don't know if y'all saw on the news, 8 women, all Asian women. And I bet when they find out who they are, that 90% of them are not even citizens. I'll just bet you that. They're probably trafficked. And, I've seen that sort of thing in these massage parlors like that. They will, and they say it's an Asian hate crime. And you know what's weird about this? One day last week, we called our daughter, because remember, she's Asian, she's Korean. We called our daughter and said, "Hey, Minnie, you need to be careful. There's a lot of people doing these violent acts against Asians." And we asked her, "Where are you at now?" And she said, "I'm downtown with her husband." They were walking downtown. Pretty day up there in Wisconsin. And I told her, I said, "You really?" I'm serious. Of course, she always thinks that Dad is overprotected, which I am. And she always thinks that I maybe are a little bit too cautious in a lot of ways. But I've seen a lot of that stuff. And I just really, really, really hope that they get out of this. Used worse near Piedmont and Bridge, and it's a shady, sleazy, drug-infested cesspool. Yeah, I agree, it is. But that's what these people do. They get these in the sex trade. You're not going to see the sex trade in these nice areas of town because people don't want to be seen going to them in most cases. We had what they called go-go clubs. And basically they were semi-nude. That's all they were. But when the police wasn't there, they would be completely nude. And you ask me, how do I know that? Because we worked undercover in them. That we would go in, sit there, and, they'd give us, in fact, when I was in narcotics and vice, they give you a budget. They want you to drink beer and stuff in these clubs. We'd be in there. We'd be drinking a beer. Then the vice, regular guys, we'd have a couple of our guys come in suits and the plain, regular stand up. They would do an inspection. And when they leave, the girls would sit there and say, you know, this is what the vice squad is trying to catch us doing, and they would just strip off. And we would make cases. We'd write down who that was and everything, what their names were. And we'd make cases and come back a couple months later. We'd make a bunch of arrests. But the judge don't do nothing. You know, didn't do nothing. No fine, really. $25 fine. $25 fine. But that does threaten to lose their license. You're trying to get my mom's 911 call and keep getting put off. What do I do? You're trying to call 911 and they put you off? That is crazy. Where do you live? If you have an emergency, I would, if you have an emergency and you can't get 911 there, I would get in the car, get them in the car and take them themselves. No. I hope I'm a loving father. I sometimes get on my daughter's nerves because I am, telling her how. I mean, she's an adult, but I think she understands. Sure, there's drugs everywhere. You can't listen. I worked narcotics for over 20-something years. And I'm not talking about just marijuana. Hard drugs. Meth, PCP, heroin, fentanyl. There's all kinds of drugs. You're never going to get rid of it until you eliminate the need for it. People through treatment centers, and putting serious time on people that deal it. Recording if a 911 call. You're trying to get a copy of a call already made? I don't know if you probably could, through a subpoena, get a lawyer and try to get a subpoena if it involves you. And there is sometimes you can get a 911 call if it's not an real active investigation, by going through somebody help me. The Freedom of Information Act, right? Oh, I'm so sorry. Asking for the transcript, but they will not provide it. Okay, get a lawyer. All he might need to do is write a letter. And also under the Freedom of Information Act, I think you could get it too. Maybe under there, look and see what you may have to write a letter and quote the law to them under the Freedom of Information Act in this state, blah, 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 that. And also, if that doesn't work, get a lawyer. He's probably not going to charge you much, but I would say he could get it, especially if there's not like an ongoing investigation that they think there may be a murder or something involved. If it's an active investigation, then they may not give it to you. They may hold it out. I know that Plunder has asked for a bunch of stuff involving the Morphew case, and they've denied it. And so, they denied it. You can't do anything. If it's an active investigation, but like I said, you may have to get an attorney and threaten to sue them for it if it's not an active investigation. But the problem with this is, and you go back to this case, you remember the Keys case out of Florida, where they were trying to get the records of their missing girl. And they kept saying 10 years later, it's an active investigation. It's an active investigation. So they sued the police department, and they won and got the records. But a lot of people don't have that, But a lot of times a lawyer would just, maybe do it pro bono, or he might just say, this is not right. He needs something to establish something. And so maybe he might need something later on. Yeah, well, I understand that too. I been running an ambulance company. I wouldn't, I just hate going out with an ambulance because you never know what there's going to be and all the pain, that goes along with it. But we went out with a bunch of them. Well, listen, Dusty's coming on like 9 minutes, and I know a lot of people are doing stuff, but please come back Friday, and Dina will be back here. I'm positive, unless something major happens. Somebody sent me a message. Okay, Dina sent me a message that about somebody that y'all want me to look into, so we will. Remember to keep Melinda in your prayers. I still have not heard from her, but I assume she is doing better. And go over to Dusty's and tell him I sent you over there. I've been kind of talking to him on the side. We are going to try to do something together sometime. Just right now, things are just nuts. So here we're trying to get everything moved out of our house and into our RV to take off. So, but go over to him and tell him that I sent, y'all came from us. We want to show our support over there too. And God bless y'all, and we love you. Really, really love you. And hope that anybody is here that is not subscribed will subscribe and get us a big thumbs up. And maybe we can get through this night without getting a tornado in the area. That would be super. Because we sure don't need it. They've had a bunch of them in this area. Okay, well, I'm going to go. And we'll see you Friday.